First question from Mitch Evans, the reliable Mitch Evans. And he's asked, how quickly does Tamani force his way back into the 23 or even the starting 15? Of course, talking about Josepha Tamani at the Fijian Drua. Boys, what do we think?
All right. I think into the 23 immediately because I love him. And I do remember the last season he played a couple of years ago, he was kind of dropping down the rankings regardless of the fact that we thought he was absolutely phenomenal the season before. So 2023, I think it was a little bit quiet for him for the Drua. So they might not see it the same way, but obviously it's a new coaching staff. So remains to be seen there. I hope he's in the 23 every single week, and I think there's a decent chance that he gets lots of minutes in the back row, but it's definitely not a sure thing.
And Nels, do you remember what makes him the fantasy gold?
He's good.
Offload king. He was absolutely leading the offloads last time he was playing. He had the ball in one hand, holding it up, always just looking to throw it. So absolute gold.
2022, I feel is his year where if he played like that again, I would say like no team could drop him, but equally that back row in the draw, like they have like 6 of those guys.
The funny thing is like kind of Thanakai Vata, in and out at times over the last couple of years, lots of movements around. There's definitely a way that he can work his way in, but he's in the 23.
Yep, sweet. And a second question as well, also about the draw, was does playing for the Flying Fijians over the last 12 months give a little bump to guys like Tabavao and Logan
Masi,
to head into the starting side? Nels, what do you think?
Look, I do think it probably gives them a little bit of a boost, to be honest. If you're playing for the national team, there's a good chance you're playing for the team, that's arguably the team below them in this sort of level. They're both players that have got high ceilings. They've shown that they can do that on an international stage. So, I mean, we're probably going to see a fair bit of these guys.
I think Glenn Jackson now the head coach of the Drua. Was an assistant coach before in 2023, I think it was, for Fiji as well. So he's obviously got links up and down. Now you got Mick Byrne, who's come in, who has gone directly up from the Drua and then brought these players up with him as well. So, you would think that they're talking a lot about how they develop their squad and how they continue to build these combinations. And I think there is some opportunity, particularly, I think, for Tabavao. I think to start most weeks, considering the fact that they've lost Apasalomi, Vota, and even Nadakani as well. Like there's definitely a good chance that he starts, and he played a lot of footy for the international side. When you go to Logan Amasi, he was exceptional, and I'll talk about him when we get to the Ndurua side, but I think his biggest problem is that there is an absolute stack of really high qualified outside backs. He got a start in the international side thanks to injury, but he didn't look back, and he was phenomenal in sevens, which again, I don't want to give out all our details now, but I think it's a huge plus for them. And when you compare to the other guys, the issue is that there's in that team, Ravinamata played for Fiji, so did Momo, so did Droa Sese, so did Karawalevu, and so did Loganamasi. And then you've still got Rakuro, who we know has a high ceiling, and Ratuva as well. So there's so much competition. And then that doesn't even mention Samasamba Vodre, who can move out. So
it's an interesting one.
It's a leg up, but there's so much competition.
Yeah, spoilers there, guys. But great. Our next question we've got from at Dave Beaton. He's asking about JRK, Jacob Ratamavuti.
Ratamavuti-Newkins.
I was never going to get through that. He, after the trials, injured his neck, expected to miss most of it. So a very topical question coming in. And so if he's going to miss out the entire season, creates a really interesting question now for how they structure the back line. He's asked, could we see Sam Gilbert shift to 15, or do they back Finn Hurley? We were talking about, I'll give a first shout out to this. We're talking about this saying, could that even see Jonah Nareki slot to 15? I mean, look, I guess I was giving my option. I was saying Jonah Nareki to 15, Caleb Tangatow straight into one wing and have Tavanawa on the other one. That's my answer to that. But
I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, me either. I think the other two wingers in Tavanawa and Nareki are both specialist wingers.
Yep.
I think Caleb Tangatow is also a specialist winger in my eyes, so I don't think any of them can really shift back. Jonah Lowe could potentially.
You don't think Nareki could play fullback?
I think he could play anywhere, but I think he's just an outstanding winger.
Yeah.
I think they've name-dropped Finn Hurley as probably the most likely, which when you think about the firepower they have in some of their outside back options, it seems like it's a little bit underdone. Sam Gilbert can play anywhere. I get the feeling that they're going to want him in the centres. I just don't think they have a lot of depth. They've got a lot of young guys into Hiwi and Wanga coming through. Talaya just hasn't been able to really get a run of the hunt since moving down there. So my gut says Gilbert stays at 12 and Finn Hurley at fullback.
That's my pick.
Yeah, I can see Gilbert at 15, mate. A centre combo of Tudge and Taniela Talaya.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's my dream team.
That's powerful. Like that is a ridiculously powerful centre partnership. It was something that we would have wanted to see for a number of years as well. So
if I was picking, that's fine.
100%.
One Hurley is also very exciting.
Yeah.
We've got another question here from Farid Manuel.
Yeah, love it.
Farid. I reckon that's it. Farid Manuel.
Did you name yourself to ask this question just to butcher the name?
I didn't. I mean,
Go on with it.
Will the Blues be able to dominate totally as they did this year, or who will push them the hardest? Since nobody really could in the end. And can Moana... Let's just answer that one first, boys.
Yeah.
Who's going to push the Blues, and can they be pushed?
From the New Zealand side, I think the Chefs are probably the only chance.
Yep.
I think the Hurricanes have lost too much.
Like
Crusaders have got too far to come. And from the Aussies, I think, depending on how the year unfolds, I think the Brums, Reds are probably the teams that are most likely. And, if the Tars get some momentum, who knows? It's probably a bridge too far. But the Brums and Reds could definitely push them.
Anyone else, Cargie?
No, nothing.
I think that's good.
Yep.
Cargie, can Moana double their wins with double the Sevilla brothers and Fiji duplicate their form outside of the islands?
Before I straight away say yes to that, how many wins did Moana get again last year? As Harry speedily looked that up.
He's quick.
Because
4
wins, it's not even...
So 8 wins would put them up for equal with the Reds at 5th.
I say
8 might be a bit too steep, but
there's less games.
And there's also less Rebels.
It's not even double the Sevilla brothers. It's an Artie. Adding an Artie is adding an entire starting.
It's quadrupling the Sevilla brothers.
It's really adding an entire starting 15 to a team. So yes, it'd be a huge impact. Okay, I'll put it this way. I think they'll get more than 4 wins with Artie in the team.
Wow,
but
amazing.
That's as far as I'm prepared to say.
Yeah, no, I think they'll get a couple more wins. I don't think they'll get to 8, especially without the Reds.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 still. I think that it's probably not going to change too much. The competition's too good.
Yeah.
Also, then the other part was Fiji. Can they bring their form from inside the islands to outside the islands?
Yep. I think they'll keep improving for sure. I think, again, the middle of the table is just going to be very congested. So they got 6 wins last year. I think, they'll be there. They're about 6 to 8 wins again.
Yep.
But they can definitely continue to improve on that.
Absolutely, and they're all getting more experience traveling and things like that. But I do just have to give a shout out. I'm obviously sitting here wearing my Drua hat, but I did go to Fiji to watch a game last year, one of the Super Games, and it was an absolutely unreal experience. It's actually one of my top rugby watching experiences of all time, and it really made me see why they play so much better at home. So I just want to recommend that. Can't recommend that enough.
I really want to go. If someone can pay for me,
these tickets called the Drua Experience, and it is the best money you'll ever spend in rugby.
And then one more, Harry. Crusaders prospects with a new captain. Does Havili make a big captain in some of these ins?
Look, I don't think the captain change is going to change much. To be honest, I think Havili was already a leader in the side. I think Doggerell's still going to have a huge role to play.
Scott Barrett, just for the translating for our listeners.
Yeah, sorry. Scott Barrett is still going to be a big leader for their side. So I don't think that's going to change anything, really. I think you got to think they're going to be better, but there's big question marks over their coaching team, let's be honest. So that's what it all comes down to. Has the coaching team actually got the ability to sort out what was going on behind the scenes last year, or don't they? And I think, Johnny McNichol being established, Will Jordan being back and fit, despite what, some of the uproar on the previews. Engagement that we purposely pushed leaving him out. I think there's some big ins that mean that they're a good chance to do a lot better. Also, Cody Taylor playing the bulk of the season, but coaching is what it's going to come down to.
Can we please have someone continuously try to push and prod Rob Penny to try and send him over the edge in the interviews? So that's what I'm really looking for.
Yeah, more of that would be great.